So please welcome Liew, talking on securing WordPress websites. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Today I'll talk about the WordPress security. I know many people using WordPress and they heard about WordPress is not secure or their WordPress site got hacked before. Anyone WordPress site got hacked before? Half. And your friends or your company website got hacked before? WordPress? Okay. Hey, here is some summary about today's talk. Is WordPress website really easy to get hacked? And I will share some common attacks. Then how do you know your WordPress site is hacked? Then some very basic but useful WordPress security, even beginner can use. Then more security for intermediate. Then advanced. Lastly is the Q&A. So the latest WordPress market share is 34.8% in worldwide website. So basically, it's more than 1 out of 3 is using WordPress. That's a lot of website. And for CMS, we only look at the CMS market. WordPress is over 60%, and the small pie there is Joomla, Shopify, Drupal, and Squarespace with the Shopify, Squarespace with hosted solution. Drupal, Joomla are the open source CMS that we quite popular a few years ago. Okay, WordPress is the most hacked CMS. This is from Shukuri, the website security company. Over about 90% of all hacked CMS websites are using WordPress. That's quite scary. And even scarier, 63% of the hacked WordPress sites are updated. They are using the latest version of WordPress. So how can this happen? We always tell you to update WordPress so that you don't get hacked, but this 63% are hacked. Actually, they got hacked because the themes and plugins they are using, not the WordPress core. The WordPress core is very, very secure. WordPress is open source software, so anyone can view the source code, can check the source code. If you find any bug, you can report. And WordPress has a security team of 50 security experts. Half of them are from Automatic, the WordPress.com site. And others are experts from other companies and security researchers. When a bug, a security bug, an exploit is found, they fix it. If it's emergency, very, very serious security issue, you will get the WordPress patch minor update immediately. It's about less than a day. If it's less emergency, then you will get the update in the next batch of WordPress minor release. Since version 3.7, the minor update is updated automatic. So you don't need to do anything. Your WordPress core will be automatic update to the latest version to fix the security bugs. Then WordPress joined the HackerOne bug boundary program in 2016. This HackerOne is a real hacker-supported security platform. There are a lot of hackers. They find the security problem in the software, then WordPress will pay them. Some very common WordPress attacks are brute force. Brute force is testing your password. They test ABC1, invalid, ABC2, invalid, ABC3. They test 1,000, 100,000 until they got your password correct. Then they can log in your WordPress site and do anything they want. File inclusion exploit is loading the external third-party external files through PHP. SQL injection is run SQL query from the URL. They can access, make changes to the database. They can add user, then they can log in. Cross-site scripting is loading JavaScript, malicious JavaScript through user browser, then gain access to the website. Malware is uploading injecting the malware code, the worm, Trojan to the website. DDoS is doesn't damage or delete your file data, but DDoS is send a massive amount of traffic, rubbish traffic, so that your server down and cannot access. How do you know your site is hacked? The first thing is when you go to your website, you see the web browser red color warning about malware, phishing site, then you know you cannot already. And then sometimes you notice your website there's some link, then you don't know, but the link is linked to somewhere else. And the obvious one is your homepage is replaced, and unable to log in your WordPress dashboard, even you are 100% sure your username password is correct. Then when you log in your WordPress, you go to the user, you found some new user or some user that you don't know. This quite easy to spot if you are the only user, but if the website has 1,000 registered users, then you don't know. Another thing is unknown files. You see some files that shouldn't be there. Then you don't know what is it for. That's a alert. And when your website is slow for no reason, it could be hacked already and do mining for Bitcoin or something. Then another thing is pop-up of banner X. You go to your website, then it has the banner to gambling site or some porn site. Another is hijacked search result. Hijacked search result is when you go to Google your own website, the result come out, but you don't know what they. Like when you search your site is in Malay or English, but when you search, the result is in Japanese. There are some tools we can use to check for your WordPress site security. It's very easy to use, and these are free. They are good for quick check. Security site check is free. It do a surface scan. It doesn't scan every file, but 10 or 20 files. If you are infected, then you get a warning. Criteria is similar to security. It's also scanned for your website without need to access your website, WordPress admin. Virus total is, they have over 60 antivirus company and security services. They combine together, and you can scan all using the virus total. You can see which site is blacklist you, or which security antivirus engine mark your site is infected. This WP scan. WP scan is a command line tool. Maybe you need to use SSH, shell, Docker. Is open source and is specific used for scanning WordPress security. You can check your WordPress version, check plugin, check themes, and list all the outdated and the which security exploit. And even it can test your password also. So now, the basic WordPress security is very simple. The first one, always update your WordPress. Don't use new themes and plugins. Use strong password backups. You need to keep your WordPress updated. Not only the code, but the themes, the plugins, everything should be updated. If the theme or plugin you use is abandoned by the developer for over a year, then chances are you need to find an alternative, because outdated themes and plugins are very high risk. And don't use themes and plugins from unknown sources. Those unofficial, those GPL download site, you need to be aware of it. Okay, I purposely use red color so to get your attention. So we need to use strong password. So we track your password like underway. You change it often, but not daily. I mean password, not your underwear. Password, we change every few months. Then you don't share your password, and you don't let people see your password. That's 3 points. Then use a strong password. A strong password is at least 12 characters long. You need to have uppercase, lowercase, symbols, numeric. Then every site you should use a different password. Don't use one password for all the sites. If your password is hacked, then the hacker will have access to all your website. These some tools. The password test. You can go to howsecureismypassword.net. And do you remember my password? Yeah, this one. How secure is it? It needs 252 sextillion years. Anyone heard about sextillions? I don't know, I Google it. It's 1 followed by 21 zeros. It's 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0. So it's the password just now is secure password. Another is, so how can you remember this secure password? And you need to use secure password for every website. Let's say you can have 10 access website. It's impossible for human brain. So we need help using password manager. Password manager can store all your password, and you only need to unlock them using one master password. the one strong password you remember. Here are a few popular password manager. One password, very popular for Apple user. Lastpass is hosted version of password manager. KeyPass is open source. Then the Warden is a new star, is open source and is hosted online. Hosted online means as long as you have internet access, then you can use. You don't need to install it on every device. Then is backup. You need to have backup, and backup, 3 backup. The first backup you download to your computer. The second backup you can backup to your hosting site. And the backup is a remote place like cloud space. It's also very important to test your backup. When you backup, you think it's going to work, but when you need it, if the backup fails to restore, it's useless. So every a few months, or you can do test backup, test the backup copy you created. Make sure it works. Here are some popular WordPress backup plugin. The first one is Lastpass. Lastpass can backup to your hosting site. You can download and support cloud storage like Google Drive, OnePlus, AWS. The second is Blockwork. Blockwork is backup to their cloud storage space. Blockwork support incremental backup. Incremental backup means you don't need to backup everything every time. So today you backup 100%. If only 1% is changed or only one file added, the second day, tomorrow, it only backup the changes. That's one file. It's faster and easier to restore. WP Time Cacher is also an incremental backup solution, and you can choose your own cloud storage. There are many backup plugins you can find at the WordPress.org repository. So that's basic security. Now we do more advanced. The first thing is 2FA for WordPress login. 2FA is two-factor authorization. Is 2 means your password, and you need another one is either your phone, SMS. That's 2. It's very secure, basically unhackable, I would say. And you limit the login attempts. If 3 fail login, then the IP will be banned. Then recommended automatic daily malware scan. Your website need to be scanned every day for the malwares and virus. Then you do file change alert. If any file, code file, plugin file is changed without your acknowledgement, then you need to check whether some malware code is injected or some a hacker upload a Trojan to your site. Then is WAF, Web Application Firewall, is filter the bad traffic to your website. WordPress recommend the file permission. Files for 644 and folder for use 755. This is a balance of security and accessibility. Then maybe you want to disable file edit. Disallow file edit. True, you set in the WP config, WP -config.php file, then you won't be allowed to edit WordPress theme, WordPress plugin file inside the WordPress dashboard. Now, by default, you can go to setting, then edit the file. This will disallow the hacker log in your site, then they can edit the file. This make the feature disable. Then you want to make sure that your upload folder is not browsable. The hacker cannot see what file you have, and they don't have access. Lastly, you might want to consider to turn off the REST API and XML RPC if you are not using it, because they are very powerful API. They can do almost anything. Here are some security plugins that you can try. The Secure Ninja, this one I recommend because it has a very long list, over 50 security check for WordPress. It will mark pass or warning, then show you how to fix it. Then Marquet has free version and premium version. Free version, they do malware scan, automatic daily malware scan for your site. It's free. The premium version can clean up the malware for you if found. All-in-one WP security and firewall is very easy to use, but powerful security plugin. It has many settings, and it has a chart. If your site is secure, then you get a mark 30, 80 marks is green color is safe. All-in-one WP security work best for Apache server. If you are using NGS, then some settings are not applicable. Ninja Firewall is a lightweight security plugin that I use personally. It supports Apache server and NGS server. It has a lot of features, easy to set up, lightweight. The feature is kind of like the WordFence and BBQ. It's not barbecue. BBQ is a simple plugin. It blocks it's a simple firewall. It filters out all the bad requests, bad URL requests. It's install and forget it. You don't need to do any setting. We come to advanced. Advanced is outside of WordPress already. We do on server side, your server. If you are using share hosting or you don't manage your own hosting, then you need assistance from your hosting provider. If you are hosting your own server, then you can use these Linux tools. More security is WAF. You can use different firewall tools. There are some free, some premium rules. Field to ban is scan your server log, find the matching matching traffic, then ban. You can use it to ban attempts, login attempts, or bad bots that crawl your website. CamAV is antivirus for Linux. It's free and update very frequently. Maltech is malware scanner for Linux. Scan your whole server for malware at server level. Then security deposit server is the server in front of your web server. So the bad traffic is filtered by POSIX servers first, then only the clean traffic go to your web server. This very good because it doesn't take up your web server CPU load. The popular one is Cafe. The free version is good enough. It has automatic backport filter. You can set firewall rules. And recently they have a backport mode, fight mode. It's turned on, then you can filter most of the bad traffic. Then strictly website firewall. This is their WF service, not the free version, not the plugin. This one is, I think, 10 USD per month. This is a proxy server. Then Lastpass is another security proxy server with the automatic firewall rules. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Well, WordPress security is a big subject, so I'm sure somebody would have some questions. Okay. And as always, congratulations and thank you. Okay, questions out there on WordPress security? Yes.
Do you have any advice for how to any advice to try to prevent future attacks if that website has been hacked a few times? So do you have any advice on how to reduce the probability next time, even though we've implemented some of the security methods?
Advice is, like what I said, the basic one is you need to keep everything secure, updated. That's very basic. Then if what you do, just now is on your WordPress site. If you already done all this and still get hacked very often, then you know the problem is on your web hosting site. You can blame them. I will advise you to switch to another host.
Yeah, one thing that you can do is turn off your SFTP account without a private key. So you can also make it so that you cannot log into the server without a key. That means that you can't be brute forced on the server with a username and password, right? Another plugin that Liew didn't mention is WP Defender. It's from a company called WPMU. And what that does is it watches your login pages, and if you get somebody trying to log in, they've got multiple failed login attempts, it locks that IP address out. And if they can, for like 5 minutes, and you can set the rules. And that can help as well, because most of the times, as we know from Liew's talk today, from the talk from Sherry on Google, the weakest thing we actually have is our password. Okay, so if you think that one first, if it keeps happening, I think you'll probably find that most of the time people who are using your software or the server managers or somebody has a bad password, and that's why you continue to get hacked. So try to protect and get rid of passwords, and you'll probably find that that's going to stop the issue. Okay?
Because on server side, there are some patches for server security, Linux, Apache, NGS, PHP, your database server. These are out of your control. You only have the WordPress site. Those are things that hacker can go in also.
Excellent. We have a question up the back.
Okay, my name is Antor. I have one question. Last time I got hacked from some hacker, and I talked to my hosting company, and they asked me to remove all the virus from my file manager, and they make offline all my websites. Around 10 websites was there, but I had to go through all files and remove the code from the files that hacker put. So I want to ask, like, is there any other way that I can remove all the codes in one time instead of go through every time? Did
So
you
he
get
had-
me?
He had to log in many times to repeat the issue of a bad plugin across many sites. Is there an easier way to deal with that instead of having to manually go into each site and
Yeah.
remove the problem code?
Yes. If you use Maoke, it has a standardized dashboard. Maoke, the premium version, it has standardized dashboard for all the sites. Then you can one click to clear all.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yes.
Just a comment. In the list of password managers that you listed, Lastpass was mentioned. Yeah, so Lastpass recently had a major data breach. If you can avoid, please avoid it. The last two, KeePass, Bitwarden, and even Firefox Lockwise are good.
And one that's not listed there is Zoho Vault. Zoho.com uses a tool called Vault. I've been using that for years. I find it really good. And if you're in a team and need to share passwords, the premium version of Zoho Vault helps you share the passwords within your team and keeps them secure. So I can grant access to team members temporarily and then revoke it afterwards so that I'm not releasing that password to as many people.
Yeah, like every software or every website, there's for sure even their password manager, they are not 100% secure, but it's still much safer than using a simple password. So I still recommend using a password manager.
And don't ignore your own website, your own PC as well. If your PC is compromised, then every password that's on your computer is ultimately in the hands of a hacker.
So Liew, thanks for sharing. Can I ask, out of the many security plugins which you recommended, which do you think that will be best? Should we just implement one WordPress security plugin, or should we implement a few just to be safe?
For me, personally, my personal recommendation, I use Ninja Firewall. This Ninja Firewall basically cover most of the areas. Then I add PPQ. Then I use Maoke for malware scanning and cleaning. You can use 2 or 3, but most of the time some features they are overlapped. Then you can turn off. Depends. You can turn off in this plugin. You use this plugin for that features.
Hello, my name is Husaini. Okay, one of my previous client website got attacked by malware, but I don't know which from where or backdoors the malware came. So, do you have any advice how to prevent or to check our website if they have any backdoors that leak?
It's very difficult to check how the hacker come in or how the malware is injected. What we can do is we clean up the malware, everything clean, then we harden the security. Is the first step you want to do. For the investigation, that one you have to ask for security experts. They can check the server log file, everything.
WP Defender as well, that one I mentioned before, that scans all your plugins and highlights code that is a little bit weak. So if it's got exec commands and things like that within PHP, you know that they can be more easily exploited than other bits of code. And it scans those so that you can be aware of where you may have that kind of code within plugins, and that can help you narrow down those lists.
Hi, hello, Mr. Liew. My name is Rahman Fauzan.
Hi.
Actually, I have 2 questions. Number one is changing the WP admin is one of the way to secure the website or the system? That is number one. If it is the best way or one of the method of changing one of the method of securing the website, what is the correct way of changing the WP admin? Because last time we have tried it, and then there's some problem with it. Okay, thank you.
It's not the best way. It helps to reduce some attempts, hacking attempts, because the WP admin is the default one. The first thing hacker will try is WP admin. But there are many other ways we can enter the WordPress, like the REST API I mentioned. It doesn't go through the login page. So you can change it. It reduces the attempts, but doesn't increase the security. That's the difference. And how to change? There are many security plugins support to change the WP admin to they change the login page to something else. You can try, but I don't use.
The main reason to change the login page is if you find that you've got continuous brute force attacks. So somebody's running a script, they're attacking your particular website on WP login. You need to check that on the log, because the WP login is where the login is to the admin. So hackers run scripts and they'll run them and bounce them around servers so that their IP address changes. And it stops the normal blocking tool from blocking it, but it depends on the HTML that creates the WP login prompt. Okay, so if you stop that WP login.php and redirect it to another login page, and that page has custom HTML, it makes it harder for a bot to attack it, and they have to rewrite their bot to attack that page. Okay, so that's why people do it. It's when you have somebody specifically targeting your business. It's happened to me before, and it did help us stop that particular attack, which we were targeted with. And we mixed that with the Defender tool and the rest of them, and it allowed us to deal with it. But I did want to mention, make sure you get a good host. Just check out the sponsors that we have here. There's plenty of them. Get a good host.
One more thing you need to remember, because after you change it, you need to remember the custom name you changed. If you forgot, then you cannot log in.
True. Okay, look, well, that's it for the questions. Liew, thank you very much for a great talk. Please give Liew a round of applause.